So we're back on day 11 of No November. I did miss a video yesterday, but like I said in the previous videos, there wasn't much to cover, so I thought I'd leave it. I'd leave it a day yesterday and come back today. So in terms of urges and stuff like that, I'd say it's like evened out at this point. Like, I will get urges throughout the day, but I will just keep going regardless. Now, what I wanted to cover today was a video I watched on YouTube by somebody called Casey, and he covers 10 lies about NoFap and 10 lies about No November that you've been told. So I guess he's sort of covering what people have shared that aren't actually true. So I watched the video, and I've not taken all of the lies, but I've taken some of them because they're the ones that I wanted to talk about, and a few of them were a bit sort of irrelevant, really. So the first lie that he mentions is the idea that NoFap breeds success. So the reason that isn't true, the reason why NoFap won't breed success is because you're the same person whether you're watching adult content and masturbating or not. You're the same person regardless. So the whole idea of it breeding success and it making you a better man and all this stuff isn't true, which I definitely think I agree with. People do like to give off this idea that somebody on NoFap's going to be more successful than someone who isn't and all this, but I don't think it's true at all. So the second one is the idea that NoFap helps men with women, but I think where this idea comes from is sort of women knowing that you're doing NoFap and knowing that you're doing No November, which ties into the other lie that he talks about, where it's just not true. Like, there's no way somebody's going to know. Someone's going to walk past you and know that you're doing this challenge or whatever. But what they are going to know is the way you carry yourself. So they can see confidence, and they can see the fact you can give eye contact, and they can see the way you go about your day. Now, maybe No November and NoFap can increase that. They can increase that confidence, but there's no way someone can tell whether you're doing it or not. And that's something that I've seen where people have given off this idea that women would be able to tell that you're doing NoFap, which is definitely not true. So that's another one that I definitely agree with. And then he talks about the idea that No November is a healthy thing in the sense of doing a 30-day streak and then just quitting because you see it as a short-lived challenge. Now, that's something that we covered quite a few videos ago, actually. And it was the idea that you're going to go from 1 day to 30 days, and then you're just going to go back to how you were, watching adult content and all that stuff. So he obviously pushes the idea that it should just be a lifestyle rather than a short-lived challenge, which is something that we've already covered. And the next one is the idea that it'll cure your depression. Now, I don't think I've seen many people say it will cure your depression, but I feel like it can't. Obviously, it can't. It can't just magically change, the chemicals in your brain and stuff. But I think it definitely does help in the sense that you won't be getting that hit of dopamine to your brain, and feeling like you're on top of the world for a few seconds and then just crashing back down to earth. So I feel like it would help with that, but it wouldn't outright cure your depression. I feel like that's not true. So the next lie that he says is it'll increase a woman's attraction to you, and that sort of ties in with the one that I mentioned earlier. But it definitely wouldn't increase like attraction towards you. I think again, it would help with the way you carry yourself, and I think it is all just about that. I mean, somebody could walk down the road and they could have watched adult content 3 times in that day, but he might just be carrying himself way better and way more confidently than you are, who's gone 100 days without masturbating. So I think it is more about that rather than just doing this challenge. And then he talks about 2 benefits to end it, rather than basically just destroying the idea of this challenge. So the first benefit he mentions is what No Nut November will do for you is it'll stop that addiction to watching adult content, and it'll force you out of your comfort zone to speak to women, which I think it is true in a way, because you can't masturbate, so you are gonna have to go out of your way to talk to women and try and release. And if you can't release just on your own, you are gonna have to go out there and find other ways to do it, which I guess is true in a way, yeah. And the other benefit he says is the idea of it increasing your willpower, which again it's one of them where you can't quite measure willpower, obviously. So he says that it would it'd stop you relying on your pleasures, and he talks about the idea that most men these days are addicted to pleasures such as smoking, such as drinking alcohol, such as going on OnlyFans, and he argues that NoFap will increase your willpower to not give in to these type of things, which is another thing that you can't measure. So you'd have to just work it out yourself, in terms of have I got more willpower for myself when I'm offered these kind of short-term pleasures. And that's all I really wanted to cover. I mean, it feels like quite a negative video in the sense that I've mentioned things that No Nut November won't do for you. And again, they could be wrong. Like, they could all be wrong, because it could affect people in different ways. But we are only 11 days in, and for me, obviously, I've not seen any benefits really. So it's hard to sort of say like, oh, everybody should be doing this kind of thing because it works. But I think the idea is get to 30 days, reevaluate how I'm actually feeling and how everybody's feeling. That's also done the challenge, and then you can break it down from there. Because I feel like this whole idea of like these NoFap YouTubers basically taking the mick out of November and just saying it's pointless because it's a 30-day challenge and then you'll quit at the end. I don't know if it's really tricky, because you don't know if you're going to get to 90 days or 200 days and feel a certain way. So the idea of you hitting 30 and not feeling anything, well, of course you're going to give up at that point. But I'm not sure how you'd you'd go about it, really, because obviously for some people it's a lifestyle and it's something they'll do forever, pretty much. And then for others, they just see it as a challenge, which I don't think I've seen it as a challenge, in the sense that I almost want to push the idea of it. But truly, if it's doing nothing for anyone, then it's almost a case of like, why would you do it? Do you know what I mean? So it is a tricky one, but again, obviously, I'm obviously gonna get to the 30 days, and then I will have to have a really hard think about what I'm gonna do from that point onwards, and really just break down all the actual benefits, that if there has been any, because in this video I've mentioned a lot of negatives, a lot of lies that actually aren't benefits. So I'm not entirely sure, but we will we will probably leave it there. I mean, I think this video every other day or every other few days works a bit better, because I can actually go away and do a bit of research. But I'll see. I'll probably see if I can do that research every day rather than every other day. But again, I do want to. At the start of this whole thing, I did want to make a video every day and just list off a load of benefits that I'm getting. But if there are no benefits, I feel like I'm wasting my time making the video, in a sense of just reporting the same thing every day. Which, I mean, if you go back at some of the videos, I have been doing that, and it is almost pointless. So we'll see how we go from there. But that'll be it for today.